escaping the shadows. I know it's hard to put one foot in front of the other.
Hi guys, welcome to the channel CeeChronicles. I post fragrance related content and would very much appreciate you subscribing and joining the family. If you're returning, thank you so much for the continued support. I often get questions in the comment sections whether I've come across dupes of some fragrances. Now, I'm going to show you fragrances in my collection that I do not think I have come across dupes of from the Middle East. I'm going to start with the House of Mon Guerlain. The original Angel from the House of Mon Guerlain, guys, is a fragrance that incorporates a gazillion notes. There's honey, there's citruses, there's pineapple, there's patchouli. It goes on to list a note of chocolate, and then it's got caramel and it's got tonka. All the notes put together are perhaps the reason why these fragrances are not popular in the cologne industry, simply because there's just too much going on. Okay, so with this you move from cotton candy, coconut, fruits, the berries, everything. This is a very sweet fragrance. It's the original Angel and it can be pushy. It's got a dusty accord to it, and from the houses from the Middle East, I would say perhaps this has facets of that by Daniel Rene, but of course, again, I wouldn't say it's 101. The way this influencer did this fragrance kind of vibes as though he was going for something busy like what you get in Mugler's original Angel. So this, guys, I haven't come across a clone that's exactly like 101 where I cannot tell them apart. I haven't tried the La Rive one. It could be that that one is very similar, but I haven't come across a fragrance that's exactly at par with this. Now, the next one is going to be the Muse, right? The Muse, to my nose, is more wearable because of that chocolate Nutella note that they have put in it. But it has that mature accord in it, and it has notes that dry down to a dusty, hay-like thing. Okay, it does smell a little bit like earth in as much as it has that Nutella accord. The vetiver in this, you know, adds like a dry bush weight to this fragrance, and that's, I have not come across something from the Middle East that even vibes close to this that I can liken to. I believe this is one of the fragrances whose notes are not all, you know, on the note pyramid, because it lists very few notes, but for what it's doing, this fragrance certainly has a lot. Now, the two, to my nose, do feel like a continuation of each other, but this is too feisty. It does feel like in this they were trying to tone down things to make it more versatile, but even then it failed to become a crowd-pleasing scent. If I perhaps purchased this for Maima, she might not get it, but I absolutely love it, and of the two, I prefer this one than the other. Okay, so that's it for that. Elisab Le Parfum is a creation by Maison Francis Kircher. I do not like this fragrance, guys, and it's the orange blossom and the honey note in this that makes me not like this fragrance. The two mixed to something that feels like an air freshener, you know, something that you want to use in your bathroom, and it can be a little bit bothersome. The few sprays that I've pumped out of this fragrance are during winter, and I wear it at the bottom of my hand because I did bring a fragrance here that I recommended as a clone to this if you wanted. It's not 100. This is the sort of fragrance that I would say, if you love the scent profile, yes, you could purchase the other one, but you could look at it as an EDT because it's like a softer version of that. I can also see why the Middle Eastern houses didn't rush to clone this profile because, of course, yes, it does have a complexity to it. That honey doing the most, the vetiver in your face, weighing in as dusty and dry, and then that orange blossom, you know, making it have that white floral accord. So Elisab Le Parfum is a fragrance that hasn't been cloned that much in the Middle Eastern fragrance industry. So basically what I'm showing you here, guys, are some of the profiles that you may find, but they're not that common. And what made me do this video is how we are having repetitions of the same profiles coming over and over again. I mean, I think in the past 2 or 3 days, I noticed 3 other Yum Pistachio smell-alikes, and I was like, really? Sometimes we wish we could get DNAs that aren't that popular, maybe to show the artistry in perfumery from the Middle East or something like that. The next one I'm going to show you is Mon Guerlain, and this is the intense version. I came here a couple of years ago after finding a fragrance again from Pandora Scents, which is Paris Corner, and theirs was Mon Guerlain. And when I saw that, just based on the box and everything, because I bought it on Amazon, I said, I'm not gonna even try this, I'm just gonna buy it, because if it's anything like the Mon Guerlain Intense, which is my favorite fragrance, I'm gonna love it. And no, that one fell flat. So I think it's also safe to say this DNA hasn't been cloned that much, if at all. Here's an insert of a very interesting read pertaining the house of Guerlain. This was posted on my second channel, CeeChronicles Unscripted, where I had reviewed Guess Seductive Noir fragrance that is cloning that Mon Guerlain. The subscriber, guys, had a lot of detail that he or she shared pertaining the house of Guerlain. There was a mention about how Guerlain since 1830 have been perfecting their ingredients, which of course I do agree, and how most of their ingredients, particularly the iris, the vanilla, the patchouli, have been done in a way that is secret coded, which is very difficult to replicate. This is a lavender based fragrance with a lot of vanilla. You're going to get a double dose of vanilla working with the intensity of a tonka. It's a sophisticated fragrance. A little goes a long way. There is a feel of a licorice in here, and it just is built of a DNA that's quite complex, and to nail that DNA, I believe, could be the reason why it's not that popular in the clone market, because it just has, you know, those some elements that may be difficult or are coded in such a way that whatever encoding they use to decode a fragrance, they're not able to actually nail that. So this scent profile, guys, is unique to my nose, is strong, it's long lasting. This lasts for days on end. You do not need to reapply this. They do have other flankers of it, of course, the EDT, the EDP, they're going to be a little bit gentler on the nose. This isn't the intense, and it's quite strong. Another fragrance I thought to drop here is this one, the Chanel No. 5. Chanel No. 5 is a fragrance built on aldehydes. It's a fragrance that's not very easy to the nose. It's either you like it or you do not. That shampooy, soapy thing. When I was reading the history of Chanel No. 5, it was written there that the perfumer at the time made a mistake and put a lot of aldehydes unnecessary, as though they kind of mistakenly poured too much, not intentionally but mistakenly. And because of that, they were so sure that this fragrance would not be something that Coco Chanel herself was gonna like. They took it to Coco Chanel and she said, that's it, I love it. Okay, so Chanel No. 5, if I'm not mistaken, the No. 5, it was on the 5th try. When they were mixing these ingredients, perfumer mistakenly puts a lot of aldehydes, and then it's taken to Chanel, and coincidentally she loves it like that, and it stays like that. This fragrance, they say the mixture is in a vault somewhere and the coding is only open to a couple of people. Perhaps that's why we do not have a lot of renditions of this in the clone market. I know I've seen one from Fragrance World that says Chance or something. I don't know how far it is at par with this, but this is a fragrance, as I said, that's not easy on the nose. I was one of those people that actually hated this. I grew to love it with time. It's for the mature nose. It can come across as too powdery. It can come across as overly green. Those aldehydes doing the most. It can come across as just a serving of dull yellow florals, that sort of thing. And it is a DNA that is pretty unusual. So Chanel No. 5, guys, for those who always come in my comment section, I haven't actually come across something that's at par with this. Okay, next up is a fragrance again from Guerlain. Okay, Shalimar, right? The reason why my Shalimar is here is, of course, I'm keeping it. I want to keep it for as long as I can, because this is an intense fragrance, and I just can't wait to see to what extent, okay, it's going to take its intensity. This is a vintage. Just by smelling it here takes me to the 80s. Tons and tons of notes. You're going to get incense in here. You're going to get the citruses as well in here. Vanilla, but it's not a sweet, fun fragrance. And then it has the woods there, the cedar, it has the sandalwood, a lot happening at the same time to build or create a vintage style of a fragrance. I always say Shalimar bottled in this is exactly what it should have been, because this just gives me dated. It reminds me of, you know, old Hollywood glam. And I have not come across this composition, you know, from the clone houses, perhaps because of just how complex to the nose it feels. And I am not saying this because it's a Guerlain. I could even give you a cheaper alternative, which is Obsession from the house of Calvin Klein. That's another fragrance, guys, built on a lot of notes to an extent that you don't even know where to start, you know, and it's not crowd pleasing. So the fact that they're not crowd pleasing is also a deterrent. So Shalimar, I haven't come across. If you have, you let me know in the comments section. Well, I'm left with three. I'd actually forgotten this. This is one simplistic fragrance to my nose. I'm just giving you a close-up so that you see. This is a Crap Ribs from Louis Vuitton. If ever this one was cloned, I've never come across a clone of it. It's a fruity scent, tutti fruity like, crisp, fresh. It might have a rose. Let me just show you the vial close up. This is one of the most nicest fragrances from Louis Vuitton. Okay, the composition in itself is very simplistic, but there is something in there that perhaps is hard to nail. You know, that tutti fruity sweet thing about it. You know, it's, ooh, this is nice. This is a beautiful fragrance, guys. It's built on that lychee, the citruses. It also has a soft peony and the rose, but the mix is gorgeously done. So have not come across a clone of a Crap Ribs. It is also one fragrance that I get a lot of inquiries on whether I have come across it or not, but I haven't. Another fragrance I wanted to show you is Bennoia from the house of Hermes. Now this one is a fruity scent, but it's complex. Okay, this is a fragrance whose top note is going to be what they call the miracle berry, the one that does everything the most. It works, of course, with the citruses, but becomes a concentrated berry forward scent with the white florals. I think it lists the note of ginger, or it says white ginger, you know, the green part, together with a patchouli and that akigala wood. This, it may be too early to say I have not come across a clone of, because it's less than a year old, but it interprets to my nose as also a complex fragrance which may have some notes concealed, making it maybe pretty hard to decode what it's doing. Okay, I absolutely love this one. It's feminine toned, a grown fruity scent suitable for all seasons. I featured it on my second channel and most of you guys were asking if there's a clone of Last but not least, guys, is going to be Sicily Easier. All right, this fragrance, guys, drum roll. Okay, the Sicily fragrances are not on the affordable side. There is a black one, but I opted for this. This, if you're looking for a powdery rose, sweet powdery rose in spicy pepper with the aldehydes, but not pushing it like Chanel No. 5. This is it. It's a rose in citrus. Guys, I love this fragrance. And the citrus accord in this, though, working with the florals, is a fun like citrus that even my daughter Maima can wear this, although it does pour a little bit mature. This to my nose is complex. It's a DNA that can be very hard to pin or to nail in terms of replication, because it just is blended to perfection. And I don't think it lists all the notes in as much as the notes that are listed are plenty. I think there's way more happening in here. But to those who may be wondering what it's all about, it's a citrus in aldehydes and happy florals, drying down, powdery and mature. Absolutely love this, and I haven't come across anything that smells remotely close to this, right? It's refined and it smells so good. So yeah, guys, those are some of the fragrances I wanted to show you that I have within my collection that I have not come across clones of. If I have, the clones have fallen short, in one or two aspects, perhaps because of how well refined the fragrances are. Let me know in the comment section if you have other fragrances that you can attest to the quality, and the quality of which being something that is not easy to clone there. I'd love to have that discussion with you guys and to hear your thoughts. CeeChronicles is my name. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's meet in the comment section where we discuss more about fragrances. Remember to turn on post notifications, guys. That way you get to be notified anytime I upload a video. Like and share this one, and remember, guys, smelling good is a form of good manners. Cheers.